Hey, Team CME, welcome back to the show. And this is just a continuation of the Monday book review that I promised you guys for the author Rakem Bay. And we did the first book, which was the 40 Days of Art Meditations for Moorish Americans a couple of hours ago. So I just wanted to hop in here and get this one done because it's so important that they both be acknowledged on the same day. So this is really interesting for me to be able to do too because it takes a while to upload. But hey, I just wanted to get this done because I was so impressed with the books. I've been reading them for the last, 4 or 5 weeks. So I've had a really good opportunity to absorb it fairly well. So I just wanted to share it with you guys. So again, Rakem Bay, and his book is The Moorish Vision, Advancing the Thought of 2020 and Beyond. And he really takes you hand in hand and takes you on a full long journey in this book as well. So I wanted to share, put my eyes back on, I wanted to share with you the introduction to the book. Because when I read the introduction to the book, well then that last little paragraph, a little couple of sentences at the bottom here really struck me because I've always said this. But I'm going to go ahead and read that right quick. When I get there, I'll stop and tell you what I was thinking. Introduction. Moorish Vision, Advancing the Thought for 2020 and Beyond, is all about the, i.e., bringing Moorish thought into the 21st century by properly applying it and properly articulating it to those that don't know. For clarity, the series of essays contained within this book are not a change or remix of the Noble Drew Ali's lessons. So he just wanted to be very clear that all the chapters that he wrote, it sort of mirrors and matches, but it also expands and enhances on the knowledge that Noble Drew Ali set forth for us. Okay? They focus on exposing the reader to additional insight into the Prophet's lessons with a special emphasis on application, i.e., interpersonal application, which means within, interpersonal application between, and community application without. So whatever we can do in the community to help uplift fallen humanity is always something that Noble Drew Ali wanted us to do. He says and continues, I anticipate some Moorish vision topics to be controversial for some or outright rejected by others because it is advancing the conversation to the next level. The next level is visibility, boots on the ground, and coalition building with those that agree and disagree with our Moorish worldview. Here's the sentence that I have to expand on. For over 75 years, we have had these same circular conversations about nationality. The real grand body enforce the Constitution and restart nationality. Because of these circular arguments between Moors, there has not been significant and impactful progress on uplifting fallen humanity, the purpose of the organization. And I said, yes, I agree wholeheartedly, but I also said 100+ years, not 75. So, it's been, 75 is good, but 100 years has been. So let's say that because it's ridiculous that we still are, having these circular arguments amongst ourselves about what we should be doing when it was laid out in the first place. Another way to describe this book, it is about bringing our timeless message, the everlasting gospel, into the 21st century in a way that our message is not perceived by those receiving it as some alien cult teachings or as opposite to how the world works now. The Prophet in his era of time had a solid understanding of the social, political, economic climate of the day. As a result of his analysis, his diagnosis was the development of the divine plan of the ages. His divine plan was in harmony with his era of time, and it is also in harmony with our era of time. However, the Prophet's articulation of it and actions to implement it were not opposite or antithetical to the current thought of that era. As a result, the prophet had the support of local politicians, judges, senators, the governor, and other power brokers who were not afraid to be associated with him or the movement. Can we say that today? No. As we continue to propagate Moorish science as brought to us by our Prophet Noble Drew Ali in the 21st century, it should not be antithetical to our current social, political, economic climate. If politicians, judges, or senators, etc., want nothing to do with us, it is a pretty good indication that we are not following the Prophet's way of articulating and doing things. Let us all do some introspection and reset to be in alignment with the Prophet's agenda. Also, we cannot continue to sit on the sidelines of the game of life, political, social, and economic. We cannot continue to be satisfied with watching humanity, and especially African Americans, play in the game of life, but we do not participate because they will not proclaim their nationality. It is time to mature and to be a bit more sophisticated in our thinking. Sorry for this raw truth. Truth is art. No matter how many facts we present, teach, and preach, there will be a large segment of Black people that will not proclaim their nationality. However, that truth should not hinder Moorish Americans from making a positive impact in their lives and ours simultaneously. We actually should all be ashamed of ourselves, using all types of disparaging language for those who call themselves Negro, Black, Colored, African American. Or let me take it a sentence further, and it's not in the book, but it's from what I've experienced, several times, and it's getting on my nerves. And that's with other people who take us, or sorry, not take us, but are on our side. And Noble Drew Ali even said that if I can get people to be with us, why are we, pushing other people away? But we do that all the time. Even when we have these online video platforms that we speak at, or lectures that are being spoken by, our fellow Moorish Americans, instead of us joining in and supporting that and, clapping and at least getting them, to know that, hey, we got your back, we'll sit on that thread all night long and talk about stupid stuff by attacking something one of our brothers or sisters said, And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but it's getting on my nerves, because let me tell you something that happened recent on one of my sisters' platform events. I was so, oh my God, and I keep saying this about the second or third time I'm referring to this story, but she was having a particular show. Dr. G was having this show, and one of our other Moorish platforms was also having a show that particular night at the same time. Well, the show's host came on and sent a message to Dr. G. She said, I'm so sorry, I didn't know that you were going to be on at the same time. She said, but what we're going to do is we're going to postpone our platform so that we can join your show. And I thought, oh my God, this is what it is all about. That's the way it's supposed to be. I was so excited about that. And I keep mentioning that because this is what he's talking about right here. We do that to each other. We talk about each other like dogs, and we're the only ones on social media that does that. People get a little knowledge and they think that, they're supposed to, correct someone about something. Oh, well, you're not supposed to say Black. Okay. I know that already, but some people don't. So, it is Black. That's called a teaching moment. Okay. So, let me get off my high horse right quick, because, y'all, I get very passionate about stuff like that. Okay. But it says that, a segmented of them are in the game of life, political, social, and economic, making progress, no matter how small, because the divinity within them is the same that is within us. They are in the game of life because love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice is yearning within them to be manifested. We, the Moorish Americans, have, for the most part, continued to be on the sidelines, pointing our fingers and refusing to help because they will not proclaim their nationality and be on our team. What a sad situation we are in. Okay? In this era of time, it is time for us to advance our thoughts and participate in this game of life. I see progress, though. There is now a welcome movement growing within the Moorish community to cease and desist the grand body segregation and work together. I pray this book helps the reader increase their understanding of the Prophet's lessons, strengthen their moral compass, and broaden their vision to not only work with each other, Moors, but also with other nationalities, organizations, and people in this great program of uplifting falling humanity, regardless of how they define themselves. These secret lessons contained in this book are for all those who love Jesus. Okay? And then he goes into the book organization again, which is, I love it. It sort of mirrors and matches this one, but this one here, you can actually take probably a chapter and make a whole book out of it, because he has his narration of what he and understands to be, and then he backs it up with, again, proof. So I just absolutely love this book as well. So he takes you in the chapters here. He talks about, the evolution from Piscean age to the Aquarian age, and we all know that the calendars were messed with, so we're talking maybe about 500 years or so. So we're either at the end of Piscean and the beginning of Aquarius, or we're somewhere, going into the Aquarius age. But he talks about that, and then he talks about, on chapter 2, why these 4 prophets, and again he puts it inside the 7. And like I said, I call these the 4 gates, in astrology: north, south, east, and west. But I always go 333, 333, 333, 333, and I'll put my 13 at the bottom. So, but we honor all true and divine prophets. He goes and takes each one, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius, and gives you a little narration on each of those. Evolution from Piscean, we already talked about that. And how to properly live in the Aquarius age. Set goals, serve others, be content, and pray. And then I put on chapter 4, what is our proper name? Black, African American, or Moorish American? Who are we? And I think, this chapter right here, it gives a good synopsis about that. I mean, he takes you from Black, Moorish American, African American. He talks about all the other nationalities, and how we revisited African American. Most people think that it came into fruition and on the stage worldwide in the 80s, but it was already here long before that. You can read about that here. And then also he talks about, temple etiquette if you're going to the temple. And then he gives the gates right here: north, south, east, and west. So he does do the gates in here. And that's what I call the gates. Everybody comes through a gate at the time of birth. And it might be good to check that out. Check out your moon, your sun rising, all that kind of stuff. Okay. And he gives lessons to acquire your earthly salvation. He gives you all types of information back here that you can do that. Roadblocks to earthly salvation. 1, seeking power without force. I highlighted that, so I love that chapter. And I also like the little ruler in this chapter. He says, where does your degree of love for your own brothers and sisters measure on the ruler? I thought this was pretty cool. He has a little ruler here, and he has 25, 2 inches or 25 centimeters, or is it 20 or 4 inches or 20 centimeters, so and it goes down to 10, which also equals 8, yeah. So that's I love that analogy. It makes you think. Okay. So, and then he takes you all the way to the end, and, just beautiful information in the book. So again, you guys can get your copy. You can do a download on this right away. $7 and some change. Buythisbooktoday.com. Go there and support our authors. these books here just gave me a warm and fuzzy feeling inside. So I am I'm so excited and so proud of him. And again, his very first work was that um, Quran guide. So you know, you guys could probably get a copy of that from him, I'm sure. So, but anyway, these are in ebook as well as hard copy, so you can do the download real quick um, on the website. And also while you're there, always make sure you support those other authors, because we spend money on a lot of things, but it's important that we support our own. And that's what I'm building here at Noble 7 Publications. And we're moving as good as the universe has allowed. And I'm really excited and proud of the authors coming on board, and we're just looking forward to build from there. So again, I didn't want to stay on here too long. It takes so long to upload things, so I'm just going to go ahead and get off of here. But I wanted to give public props to Rakem and let him know how much I appreciate him, and how wonderful he is as a gentleman, as a man, as a Moorish American. And we do appreciate him so very much for all the hard work that he has put into these 2 books. It's just amazing. So you guys go ahead and grab your copies, okay? And support. So again, hey, Moorish Vision, advancing the thought of 2020 and beyond. 40 days of art, meditations, all right, for Moorish Americans. Love it. Cop them both. BuyThisBookToday.com. I love you guys so much, and thank you again. And thank you again for your patience. I just can't say it enough, but I'm back, all right? So I love you guys so much. And in closing, read more, learn more, and absolutely love more. I love you guys so much. Peace. Bye.